Hey there, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So I do apologize. This will be a little bit late. Had some errands to run and eat my dinner. It took me a while. Had to organize what I'm doing here. So we're here tonight to do an episode of Favorites, which is a show I do every Wednesday night. Could be a top 5, could be a top 10, might be an album ranking, could be a lot of different things. But basically on this show, I pick a list and make a list of something. So today we're going to actually do a ranking. I don't think I've done one for a while. I'm trying to remember who it was I did last. I can't remember. I don't remember who it was I did last. Might have been the Police. It could have been somebody after that. But anyways, we're going to be doing The Doors tonight. These guys. So the Doors are a band, of course, coming out of the 60s, 1960s. They had basically 6 studio albums with Jim Morrison as the lead vocalist. When he passed, they tried to continue, did a couple more albums, then they broke up. A few years later, 4 or 5 years later, they decided to try and get back and do another album, a pre-vocaled album with Morrison on it, mostly doing poetry, but he was no longer alive. Of course, he'd been dead for about 6 or 7 years at that time. So the Doors are a funny band for me. So I did not like them for many, many years. My friend tried to get me into them in the early 80s. I didn't like them, but he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, but I still never liked it. In fact, that made me like them less. So it was only when the channel started and I was out in the neighborhood one day at a yard sale and I bought a box full of CDs. I didn't even look at them. I just wanted the jewel cells for any ones that I had that were a little bit on the broken side. And lo and behold, when I got home and sorted through it, there were 5 of the 6 original Doors studio albums. And so when I went out and got this one, which was the one I was actually missing of the 5, and at that time I still didn't know that they had done other albums until the last couple of years, where I discovered they'd had done 3 more albums after his death. So we are here today, we're going to rank them. So we're going to rank them the normal way. We always rank these kind of things, my least favorite to my most favorite, and then I'll give you them back in descending order. So for me, I own the original 6. I did not buy the other 3, largely because I don't really necessarily like any of them. So they're going to be part of the ranking, but you know that they're going to come in the last 3 spots, basically because I don't really care much for them as compared to the other Doors albums. So if we're going to start out with number 9, this would be their last release, released in November of 1978, and it's called An American Prayer. So basically this album has Jim Morrison doing a fair amount of voices, poetry basically what he's doing, and they're playing music in the background. There is some vocal songs on here, but I just basically, it's kind of like Coda is with Led Zeppelin. There's a couple things I don't mind, but for the most part, it's just an album I ignore. So this is going to be number 9. Number 8 is going to be their 8th studio album, or their second one without Morrison, called Full Circle. This is the one with the Neanderthal eventually becoming man, or the prehistoric man becoming a modern man, if you want. It's probably the better accurate term. So this album is okay. The instrumentals are decent enough. It's a little bit, doesn't really sound a lot like the Doors original stuff at all. The vocals, of course, don't sound like Jim Morrison, because it's Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek doing all the vocals here. This one sounds kind of a To me, it's a little bit weak. It's not a great album. There's not really anything memorable on it, so I haven't really put anything to memory. So this came out in August the 15th of 1972, their second album without Jim Morrison, so it's going to come here at number 8. So number 7, of course, is going to be the other album that they put out after Morrison's death. They actually had been writing this music with the idea that Jim, once he got well, would be doing the singing here, but of course that did not happen because he died. And but again, Robbie Krieger, Ray Manzarek, I can never remember how to pronounce that name. Anyways, they did the vocal. They did the lead vocals for it. This album actually sounds quite a bit like a Doors type album. Maybe not as much a Doors album as the others, but definitely had that feel musically or instrumentally anyways. Not as much vocally, of course, because Jim isn't singing. It's not a terrible album. I don't think it's a bad album. Maybe it passes. If I saw this somewhere for $1 or something, I might buy it, but other than that, I really have no interest in getting it. So those are the first 3. The number 5 or the number 6 album is the first ones with Jim Morrison on it, which is Strange Days. Now, a lot of people rank this much higher. They put it in the top 2 or even as high up as top 1. I find the album, and a lot of people say it because they like the album cover. I don't really care for this album cover. It's kind of disjointed to me. There is some good stuff on this album, though. Strange Days is pretty good. I'm just listening. Unhappy Girl, I like that. It's pretty good. Moonlight Drive, I like this one. When the Music's Over is probably the best track on the album, I think. But I like the album. I just don't think it's as good as their other albums. That's basically why it's here at number 6. Number 5 is Waiting for the Sun. This is the one that's currently in my playlist. I do like it. It's pretty solid. I like it quite a bit more than Strange Days. Hello, I Love You, one of my favorite Doors tracks here on this particular album. Pretty good. They've got a lot of kind of interesting sounds here. I don't think this is a great album, but it's a good one. There's no doubt about it. And this one comes with some extra bonus songs as well. So pretty strong for the Doors. Number 5. Number 4, I like this a little bit better than that one. Mainly on the... I think this one sounds a little bit more like the Doors. I like that one, not as much. The second one, I think this one is the third one. The second and third one, I don't like them as much as the other Doors albums. This one's pretty good. I think it's kind of a return to that sound here. Touch Me is on here. It's another great track by them. I'm looking here. Wishful Sinful, I don't mind. That's pretty good. Wild Child, pretty good as well. The Shaman's Blues, I don't mind that. I'm looking for the last track. Touch Me, again, there's a version of it here with more of a dialogue part to it that's really good. This, of course, has extra bonus tracks on as well. I do like their cover. This is one of the better Doors covers. And maybe just basically because of the color I like. So that's my number. That's my number 4. Number 3. The top 3, I think, are easily the top 3. I like them all quite a bit. This one is probably my third favorite. Their last studio album, l.a.women. It's got, of course, Love Her Madly, which I think is among my favorite Doors tracks. Definitely is up there. Car Hiss by My Window, that's pretty interesting song. l.a.women, of course, is another big hit for them. The Wasp, I kind of think this is kind of a bit of a strange song, but I like it. And then, of course, Riders on the Storm, the last track on this album, on their last studio album with Jim Morrison. To me, they finished off with a bang because this is easily my favorite Doors song. There's not as much of the deeper cuts on this album that I like as much as some of the stuff on the other albums. So, that's hence the reason why it finished in the third spot, L.A. Woman from the Doors. The next one up is this one, their second last album, Morrison's House. There's a lot of stuff on here. Some of the deeper cuts, Indian Summer, Maggie McGill, Peace Frog, Waiting for the Sun. I like these tracks. They're a little off, a little bit different, but still good. Of course, Roadhouse Blues is on here, a well-known track. Queen of the Highway. This one just feels like a Doors album to me. And because it's Morrison's House, I think it's pretty strong. This is their second last studio album, released in 1970. So the first in the 70s. So that's my number 2. Number 1 is, of course, the debut album. I think this is easily their best album. Doesn't have Riders of the Storm, but it has so many good tracks on here. Break On Through, great tune. Soul Kitchen is good. 20th Century Fox, amazing. The Alabama Whiskey Song, this is Whiskey Bar. This is one of their great kind of underrated tracks. Backdoor Man, I love that. Light My Fire, of course, everybody knows this one. Take It As It Comes and End of the Night. I like both of those too. This one doesn't have like number 1 tracks, like other than Break On Through and for me the Alabama Whiskey Song, but there's a lot of really high level songs on this album, so it's an overall beats out the last album and this one for the number 1 spot. So there you have it. That's my Doors collection. I decided to do this now just because I wanted to do the ranking of them. I've been thinking about doing it for a while. Decided that it was time to do it. So I'm going to now give you them in the proper order from top to bottom. So number 1 will be, of course, their debut. Next one up is Morrison's House. That's number 2. Number 3 goes to L.A. Woman. Number 4 goes to Soft Parade. I love the color of this album too. Then you've got Waiting for the Sun at number 5. And Strange Days at number 6. And then, of course, you have the 3 non-Jim Morrison albums, which are Other Voices would be number 7. Full Circle would be number 8. And then the last, and their last album, but also the last in the list, An American Prayer, released in 1978. Some 8 years or 7 years after Jim Morrison's death. So that's my ranking of the Doors. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to rank them according to how you like them, you can do them below as well in the comment section, or if you just want to talk about the albums, you can do that. Whatever you want to do in the bottom is okay with me, and we will see you next Wednesday for another episode of Favorites. So please have yourself a good evening, take care, and goodbye.